What's up, guys? Kim's here with the
Okay, well, wait a
girl
minute.
community influencer.
And we're back. That was Becky introducing herself on the podcast. Becktacular is what I call her. Travel Beck, A.K.A. Travel Beck, A.K.A. Becktacular.
Yes.
Oh my God, Beck, do your AKAs real quick.
Well, I'm
them?
back, aka the #1 natural hair community influencer.
Oh my God. Somebody come
AKA
get your girl.
Chef Chat. Who be whipping up in the kitchen.
Yes.
And AKA Baxter Lexter.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, that's me.
Yes. Oh my God, it's 2021, right? We gotta like fucking come up with new AKAs. Like my AKAs, I have to like start a whole new chapter of AKAs possibly.
Right.
Maybe not. I kind of like my AKAs though. I think I'm gonna stick with them. This is Kimbo, AKA the Blasian Sensation, AKA the Traveling Chafing Queen, AKA Kimbolina, AKA Daughter of Pudgeonat, AKA Slayer of Poles, AKA Mother of Georgie, AKA Stir Fry, AKA Captain Planet. She's a hero, gonna take pollution down to 0. AKA Pussy Control, AKA the Hustle Hussy, AKA twerking on your daddy's couch, AKA yes, my middle name is spelled wrong, and AKA Kimbo of all trades. Yes. Becky, I gotta. What was the other one I gave you? Oh yeah, the curl colonizer, AKA. Because this bitch swears that she has curls.
Listen, I washed my hair last night and I haven't styled it. Don't make me take this hair tie down, okay?
Girl, show us those waves. Show us those waves. Ain't no curl there. Those soft waves, those soft beach waves. Fuck out of here.
Now, what
was that?
How was your trip?
It was sickening. This shirt's from Puerto Rico. Do you guys see it?
Cute.
If you guys are watching their visuals on YouTube, I am wearing my new Puerto Rican shirt. I got a matching one for Kyla, my little niece's.
Oh, that's cute.
I have the same one in a little miniature size I want to give her. I just haven't seen her since I got back. And I wore this sickening lip color for you, Beck. Thanks. It was a Christmas gift from Sacuanita, my sister.
What brand is it?
Fuck. It's what you call it? Kat Von D.
Oh, okay.
Do you not stand for her?
No, she's like hella racist.
Is she really?
Yeah, you didn't know.
I'm not like a beauty blogger like you. You need to put me on.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I know Jeffree Star is like super problematic.
Yes, yeah, I heard about him or her or they like, or whatever her pronouns are.
She called him out on some like stupid shit a couple years back. If you Google it, you could probably find it. Basically, allegedly, he didn't pay one of her photographer friends or a graphic design person that she knew for work that this person did for Jeffree Star's brand. And it was just like, the whole thing was just real, like, I don't know. She never even texted him, like, and Jeffree Star had the receipts, you know, like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like, I did pay him. He was like, expressed disappointment that she had never reached out to him like privately before she went public with this big old thing. I think personally she did it to bring attention to her own brand and just like look at me kind of
for the clout
publicity on her.
Well, what's the racism there? I don't get it. Isn't she's Hispanic? Well, is she Latino or Latina?
She's Hispanic, but she was dating like a skinhead. I think
well, that's right on brand for her, I'm sure.
Right. And I think they found pictures of her in like Nazi gear or something like that.
Girl.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's like, nowadays you have to like literally, before you mention them, you have to like Google them to like make sure, because it's like they'll get canceled in a heartbeat, bitch. Like I can't even keep up with the amount of cancellations, which we will get into that later. By the way, guys, so this is Becktacular. This is Becky Campos. She was on the podcast before. She was actually on like the 2nd or 3rd episode. So congratulations, Beck, to being back on the show.
Yes.
So happy to have her back. This is honestly, I had to do an emergency episode with her because the world is crumbling underneath us. And I go to Beck. Like Becky's like one of my wokest friends. She is 100% Mexican, but she is like the most woke one. Like she speaks for like all people of like, you know, people of color, and like I can trust her when it comes to having these conversations about race and racism and things like that, because I know that she's not like ignorant at all. She does her work, she researches, and
it just sucks. Can I just say, like, I hate that I like, not hate it, but like, why can't this just be normal? You know what I mean?
girl,
Like, why can't we all just be informed? Like, I don't want to be put up on a pedestal because of I know things. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because everyone can do it. Anyone can do it, right?
Exactly. It's
The
not
information,
that hard.
right.
It's really not that hard.
I feel you. I think that you know, I don't know I don't know what their other people's excuses are, you know what I mean? But when it comes to like just our journey as friends and being friends for like 10 plus years now, and from jump, when I met you, you always were cognizant of what the fuck's going on from jump, you know what I mean? Whereas I can't really speak for like all my friends, not even in our friend group, but just in general, all my friends, you know what I mean? Like, and my family. Like I can't necessarily say that for everybody, but for you, I was like, Becky's always been real tea. She always gives me the real tea. She always comes hard with the facts. So I'm really excited to have you on, because let's get into this shit. Wait, first of all, though, so now I usually don't do sexy recycling of the news with my guests anymore, but I did want to talk to you about this because I just can't help it. Bitch, what's up with your girl, the Kardashian? She's finally breaking up with, they're finally getting a divorce, Kanye and Kim, right? Allegedly. They're getting a divorce. Brr, 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 brr. Cue the noise. Cue the horns, Rick Dog. And this is like Becky's like queendom. She's a stand-up.
Wow.
She loves the Kardashian. She loves Kim Kardashian.
I'm also a Kanye stan down musically. I can't listen. I can't say anything about him outside of his music, but I think musically he's a genius. You know, he's extremely innovative. I think one thing that has always kind of inspired me about him is how he's able to reinvent himself as a musical artist, like time and time again. But yes, it is very sad that they're breaking up.
This bitch was like, I really thought they were going to last like 20 years. I was like, who? First of all, like Kanye's been slowly losing his mind. Well, I mean, on some real shit, he actually is diagnosed with like he's bipolar, right? So like, I don't want to make fun of him for for his mental illness or anything like that, you know, because that's not funny, right? Mm-hmm. But the guy's been wilding for a while, and like at first I was like completely sympathetic, and I was like, oh shit, I don't know how the fuck Kanye's gonna take Kim's bullshit. Like, I don't know how the fuck he gonna handle all these cameras, all the appropriation of culture. I can't. And then now I've like almost like did a like what in 180 or 360 or whatever the fuck you want to call it, and like now I'm like, oh my god, I don't know how the fuck Kim's handling Kanye's ass, like that. Right. So this is why I want to talk to you, because I like found some articles and I wanted to talk to you about it. So,
about
like,
what? About them?
Yeah, that's why I was like, I want to talk to Becky about this. So let me just have her.
Okay, with the receipts today.
Bitch, I got receipts though. Okay, receipts. No, this is just like yahoonews.com or whatever. Okay. So, like, but it's like the celebrity tea, you know what I mean? So like, I just saw some reports that said like, oh, this is according to Cosmopolitan apparently. Kanye West is reporting jealous of the time Kim Kardashian has dedicated to prison reform and the kids. Then another article states Kim Kardashian reportedly saw Kanye West's presidential campaign as a final straw for their marriage. And also Kim Kardashian and Kanye West allegedly haven't made much headway when it comes to their marriage counseling. And on another tea that I've been listening to, like from my podcast, did you hear the alleged affair that he had with Jeffree Star?
Yeah, but you know what? So do you know who Taylor Lorenz is?
Wait, not the other bitch.
She's like a freelance writer for like New York Magazine and other different like publications, but her expertise is like internet culture. Okay. So she reports on things that are happening like online. So she kind of dug into that whole drama, and allegedly the rumor was started by this like TikTok troll.
I did see that. Yes.
I
Who
guess
started the licking of the
the
toilets or some
toilet
shit?
seat. Yeah, I guess
Bitch.
they were like the person that like licked the toilet seat on the airplane as like
Right.
the COVID challenge.
Oh my God.
So I don't really know um if there's any truth behind that, but apparently Jeffree Star's Wyoming mansion is like literally in the same area that Kanye's.
Yeah,
and he lives in Calabasas, you know, not too far
so
from.
maybe he followed.
And then this isn't the first time he's kind of been intertwined in like Kardashian drama. Do you remember when Jordan slept with Tristan?
Allegedly. Right.
Jeffree Star, do you remember? I don't remember. He called her out on Twitter after she went on Red Table Talk.
No.
And was like, basically called her like this trifling ass hoe. Like, he's like, everyone in Calabasas knows you've been hooking up with Tristan.
Ooh.
We're not blind. And like, I think he added Jordan, but I don't think he added the rest of the family when he like kind of went off on that tirade. But he's definitely been intertwined with them, and like in his YouTube videos, like in his vlogs in the past, he's definitely been like, oh, there goes Chloe, like when people are driving by, when he's like out and about.
Okay.
So I mean, I think maybe someone saw something and, you know, saw they were friends, but Jeffree Star's, I mean, he's definitely a very like sexually promiscuous person. You know, I don't know if you.
How do you know this, Beck?
Well, I've been following Jeffree Star since MySpace days. Like I was a fan of his on like MySpace, you know, and obviously I don't feature him anymore. Like, I'm just totally over him. I'm so glad I never bought anything from his makeup line. I'm glad to kind of have him go away. But back in the day, he was a recording artist signed under A.K.A.'s label. How did you not know this?
Yeah, girl, I'm looking for her like that. Especially when I heard she was racist or some bullshit. Nah.
I just feel like I don't know. I guess for me, like early internet.
You're a beauty blogger, bitch. I don't be doing the beauty stuff. I don't know that.
No, but this was before he was into all that. Okay. But there were
rumors. Might have been your Perez Hilton days. I don't know.
Yeah, and you know what? Perez Hilton was a Jeffree Star stan, so that's kind of how that was like all intertwined. But allegedly back then there were rumors that like him and Akon were a thing, and that's how he was able to get signed.
Ooh, Jeffree Star like the black
Jeffree Star lived in Atlanta for some time.
Oh, bitch. Well, there you go. Live for the black cock. That Mandingo life, bitch. Atlanta is a like, sea of black men that are gay. Come on.
Right. And don't even get me started on like that whole like, oh, all black men are hung. Like, I'm over that
Mandingo
narrative. Like
Becky doesn't see it for the BBC.
I just feel like it's problematic. You know what I mean? To generalize the whole gender of black men and being like, oh, there's these sexual demons, and
it's because you've seen many a cocker in your day, and there's been some small black penis that you've been, you know, accounted with. So that's why. See, she's got receipts, guys.
I'm not.
She speaks
names.
From experience. Niggas like, don't let me call out some names for some small dick niggas. Come on.
I just feel like it's all about sexual chemistry at the end of the day. And it's all about consensual sex, feeling empowered in your sexuality, having your partner feel empowered of their sexuality. Like, stop putting labels on it. Like, oh, because I mean, you know, you're Asian. How often are Asian women fetishized, you know, in
for sure.
sexual realm? And
I feel like
too.
Right. Oh,
Latinas,
yeah. I mean,
bitch, there's a whole bitch put in Latina on fucking Pornhub.
Oh, yeah.
Millions,
Latina, that little Tina pussy, or like that, or the big black, you know, big black ass, or like whatever. All these like ebony porn, yeah, big black ebony girl sucks white cock, some bullshit like that. I'm like, really? Scroll through. Let me find the right video because these all suck. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I feel like girl, we just started we just like totally like tangented into like a masturbation conversation.
But anyways, back to Kim and Kanye.
Back to these trifling ass motherfuckers. No, I mean honestly, like, and you know what? I'll give it to her because it does seem like she's trying I don't know her like that. I don't know this bitch like that. Like I said, I don't be standing for the Kardashians. Like, to me, I don't support them hoes in any way. I don't buy no Skims like Becky here. But but I mean, I do appreciate that seems like she is trying to be serious about being a lawyer and, you know, getting people out of prison that are wrongly put there in that sense. So I appreciate that. But again, I'm not like, I don't know their business like that, but it does seem like Kanye's been problematic these past few years, you know, and it's been a lot, you know, especially when I would hear those, like she would say that he would like just like criticize everything she would wear to like all these big events and things like that, and she'd be like, yeah, I can't wear that, Kanye doesn't like that, or Kanye said I had to change my dress, or, or like Kanye said that was too sexual, but yet that's how in fact she got her fame, is from being a sexualized image. So it's like, I don't know. The hypocrisy was, I'm sure she was just
I think it's just a testament to how people change in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes in some relationships, you know, obviously love never finds you never leaves you how it found you, is what I meant to say. But I think that sometimes growth, it doesn't always happen together. And
True.
This is kind of like, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Although it's sad to me because I feel like them together, they make such a good team, you know, like he helps her with her, you know, her designs and her products, and, you know, I think he definitely woke her up to the
fashion.
injustice. No, not to fashion. I mean,
I think so, like, bitch. Did you see what she wore?
The racial injustice that happens in this country.
Oh well, yeah.
I think she would have never woken up to that without him, you know.
True.
And I think, I mean, how has Kim helped him? I don't know, because he's kind of like his own person.
I mean, she gave him beautiful babies.
Family. Yeah.
Right. She gave him beautiful babies, and you know, you cannot deny that they do seem like they are, you know, they love their family and their kids dearly. You know what I'm saying? In that sense, they're adorable. All those damn kids are so fucking cute. So I mean, yeah, I don't. But the thing is, I did see in articles that like, yeah, they kind of have been living separate lives for some time, like because he's been spending a lot of time in Wyoming, and she's been obviously in Calabasas or whatever with their family. But then I guess I did see that they didn't even spend the holidays together.
Yeah.
So then like, yeah, so she was in LA, she was in Calabasas with her family, and then Kanye was in Wyoming with Jeffree Star, allegedly. So no, I mean, on some serious note, I mean, yeah, I apparently there was articles like he can't stand the Kardashians, or he can't stand the show no more. And remember when we clocked it, bitch? Remember when we clocked it? And when Chris was like, we're done with E.
Yeah,
and
girl, they're going to Hulu.
Bitch, she is chasing the bag. I'm telling you, if I can afford to hire Kris Jenner, I would in a heartbeat, bitch. Because you know what? She secures that bag, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean?
Rest in peace to cable television. It's done.
Oh, it's done.
It's fucking done.
Rest in peace. Yeah. Like literally, if people still have cable, I'm just like, for why? Like, for why? You know, like you could literally just, I mean, there are like literally like, if you want, bitch, I'm so pressed because like The Office just left Netflix. So now I got to get my ass Peacock to get The Office. Then you got to get Shluhu to get one thing. Then you got to get HBO Max to get another thing. Then you got to go to fucking Disney Plus to get another. Bitch, at the end of the day, you're paying like over $100 for all these subscriptions.
Right.
But it's at your demand. Like you could just go on there whenever you want, which is lit. Because no one watches live TV no more. I don't know who does. So yeah. All right, well, that's enough of that. I did want to talk to you a little bit about recycling in the news because I really want to get to the tea. I want to get to the meat and potatoes.
Let's get into it.
Let's fucking get into this, bitch, because the reason why Becky's on the show today and the reason we're doing this emergency podcast episode is because literally the caucasity is at a whole nother level, y'all. Whole nother level. These white Trump-supporting terrorists fucking invaded into the Capitol. What was it, 2 days ago now? I think where are we at right now?
It was on Wednesday. It's Friday night.
It's okay. Yes.
So yes. What started as like what's supposed to be this massive protest against the election results and the Senate certifying Joe Biden's electoral college votes turned into this massive just mess. But
I
don't even know where to start.
I know. I was like, I'm like looking at my
know.
outline, Becky. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Where the fuck do we supposed? Because literally, me and Becky were like texting each other, and we're like, this is some fucking bull. First of all, we were like, really. First of all, we started conversating on the fact that like we were super excited about Georgia. I'm very proud of Georgia, right? Because Georgia now is blue.
I woke up feeling so good on Wednesday. I was just like, man, we fucking did it. Right. I mean, I don't know anyone in Georgia that
I know a couple people, a couple listeners. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the listeners that are in Atlanta.
Shout out to them.
I do know a few.
It fucking happen.
And she, my homegirl, she messaged me, or she posted on her Instagram, like, going to the polls, going to vote. And I'm like, yes, bitch. Yes. So
Stacey Abrams she's an American icon. You know, she's going to go down in history for this. I mean, let's start by saying the power of Black and brown people coming together, Native American people, Asian people, Jewish people, everyone that's disenfranchised. Like, look what happens. I mean, yes, we won by the hair on our ass. There's no denying that. Half the country fucking hates us.
Oh, yeah, there's a huge percentage. Yeah. True.
But, you know, I really think, and I still feel it in my heart. I still feel hopeful about everything that's going on. But to me, I don't know how you felt on Wednesday. I was disturbed, but I wasn't shocked. I remember the night that Trump got elected, I could not peel myself away from the TV. I was just like watching the news, like watching the votes come in. And at 2 a.m. when they called it, I mean, I was like, girl, when I tell you I was hysterical, I like cried. I was like heaving, you know, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I finally went to sleep. I like cried myself to sleep. And when I woke up the next day, my mom, who's a baby boomer, you know, my parents are very informed. They're very progressive for who they are, but I think they definitely, and especially being with them now in quarantine, you know, and obviously I've had no social life, you know, and seeing them and how they absorb the news. I don't think they realize how left-leaning the information they get is.
Yeah.
And so when I woke up the next day, you know, she was up already, and obviously it was like puffy and distressed, and I woke up looking like I probably saw a ghost. And she was like, what's wrong? Like, and I was like, I cried myself to sleep. Like, aren't you upset? And she's like, no. She's like, Becky, yes, girl. Yes. She was like, it's really not that serious. It's gonna be okay. And I was like,
honey.
And then it just from there, I was just like, I couldn't believe my mom said that.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense. I remember specifically conversations that I had with members of my own family who again thought I was out of my mind for being so upset about the election results. But look the 4 years, what happened on Wednesday was a culmination of the last 4 years. You know, literally the morning after Georgia flipped blue, you know, I mean, everyone just went ape shit, you know, everyone that's on the other side of this thing went totally ape shit. And I think that we're only at the beginning of the work that we have to do as a collective in this country, because we cannot deny that racial tensions aren't real anymore. We cannot deny that white people are threatened by Black and brown communities coming together anymore, that their white privilege has been threatened by us, you know, by the hair on our asses. This was not an easily won victory. There was girl, you know how much money I donated to these fucking political campaigns?
Becky's like, I'm broke. I gave all my money to donate to these motherfuckers. Come on. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
And, you know, I just think that we have a long way to go. And I want to say to anyone that's listening to this right now, roll up your fucking sleeves and get to fucking work, because this is only the beginning. What we saw on Wednesday was just a taste of what's to come, you know, in my opinion.
100%. 100% agree with you. And it's like, to me, I agree with you. It's in a sense like people are so shocked that this happened. Girl, like for me, I was shocked it didn't happen the day, when the actual election went through and Trump lost. Maybe because he kept like hope alive for them by saying like, oh, it was a like they're missing ballots and like that's why like they didn't do anything, because they really did think that they could possibly swing things. They really could think that
Girl, they thought.
they really thought, because they were holding on to that hope, because that nigga would tweet every day talking about, we got this election, ripped from us. It was stolen. The ballots are there. Find the missing ballots or some bullshit. I'm like, motherfucker, you lost. Like, fucking deal with it, So it shocked me that didn't happen sooner. But in a sense, what you were saying about how there is no denying it now going forward, absolutely not. Let's count the receipts. Let's count the actual videotapes of policemen letting these terrorist Trump supporters into the Capitol, right? There's receipts, there's video. Yeah. Let's see the receipts of the photos of when the Black Lives Matter protesters actually went to, and did the same thing. So not the same thing, obviously. They didn't actually go through and crash through the Capitol and break windows and things like that. But no, the National Guard was there, right? There was a photo of the National Guard fucking protecting the Capitol, like the Black Lives Matter protesters were gonna fucking, destroy the Capitol.
Right.
Where were they? Where were they, when this whole Trump supporting terrorist attack happened? Oh, it's because they were on the other side, right? It's like, I've been seeing these memes, Becky, and I just can't, like, it's like these memes saying like, why y'all surprised that the National Guard didn't come up? It's like, you never asked where the fuck Miley Cyrus is when Hannah Montana's on stage. And I was like, I'm dead. I can't. Because it's so true. It's such a fucking Cardi B she fucking tweeted. She was like, where's the National Guard at? And I tweeted at her like, girl, sis, they crashed in the Capitol right now. That's where they at. That's exactly where they're at,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's 100%. Like, you can't deny it. I did see earlier today that President-elect Joe Biden actually went and he like made a statement, and he was like, we cannot deny the fact that if this was Black and brown people, there would be multiple cases of death, arrests, you know what I mean? All sorts of chaos would ensue. It's because these were white people, and it's because, this country doesn't support Black and brown and marginalized people. Let's just be real. You can't deny it anymore, Trump terrorists out there. And yeah, Becky, I'm here to spill all the tea. I'm here to call out the Chicagoans that actually flew out to DC. The ones we're from Chicago. So if you guys are my international listeners, me and Becky are from Chicago. We're in Chicago right now. And if you're a Chicagoan, you might have seen some repostings of companies and businesses that were called out because they were seen at the actual Trump terrorist coup in DC. Should we go on and count and call them out, Becky?
Yeah, it was well, there was that one real estate agent who's with At Properties. I don't know if you heard about that.
Wait, which one was that?
I forgot her name.
I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, there was a real estate agent. At Properties already fired her. Then there was the duo behind Tank Noodle, which we'll get into that later.
Yeah, that's got a lot of depth to it. We're gonna talk more about that.
And then
Tank Noodle, guys, is a very popular Vietnamese restaurant that does pho. Sorry, yeah, that's right, pho. But it's in like, if you're familiar with Chicago, it's like in like a smaller Chinatown type of area, but it's super popular with like Caucasians and white people. So that's why I never really trusted it. No, dead ass. Like
places where Asians eat.
Yeah, and there was always white people when I saw it. Whenever I would drive past their bitch, it was full of the Caucasians. So I was like, I'm straight on that. Like, no thanks. Like
no, it's true with Asians and Mexicans. If they're all up in that hoe, it's legit.
Oh yeah, Sunwa, they'd be mad Asian. So my ass was in Sunwa.
We went there for my mom's birthday last year. It was so good.
Oh my god, Sunwa. Shout out to Sunwa. It's like this like amazing,
it's a Peking duck.
Yeah, they have the best duck. It's
barbecue
so
duck.
Yeah, it's a Peking. You said it right, Peking duck. Yeah, we used to get our duck there all the time. It just depends on like where we're in the area because we know where the best duck places are. But yeah, Sunwow is the shit.
Even Allison ate that day, and she's a hella picky eater.
That's right, she is. Your niece is like
chowing down my
because it's delicious. You can't deny the deliciousness. Yeah, so the fuck them and take noodle. Also the owners of Insight Studios, which is like a tattoo place. They do piercings as well. I actually know people that have gone there, tattooed their piercings there. I guess the owner's name is Bob something. He's the owner. He was seen at the actual DC coup terrorist act. So cancel them. There was also this one. So this one mixologist that I'm friends with and follow on Instagram. Shout out to Mr. Mixologist. He posted and said barproducts.com. I guess if you're in the like bar or mixology bar scene, bartender scene, you might get your products from barproducts.com. But he claims that, it was seen that the owner of the company barproducts.com was also seen at DC. So he was stating that if you're a bartender, if you buy your products from barproducts.com, to no longer patronize them because you are supporting terrorists. So
it's just wild at how many, I feel like, I follow Bloomberg shared photos, so did BBC and the AP with like the actual crowds that were there.
Yeah.
And I think other more like left-leaning news stations kind of downplayed it, just kind of, I'm sure as a fuck you to Trump, right? Like MSNBC and CNN. But there were like, I don't know how many people were there exactly, but there were a fuck ton of people there, Kim. Like
there was a lot. Yeah.
There was a lot.
There's a lot of people. And they're flying in from different parts of the world to or the States or whatever have you. It's scary.
Yeah, there were a lot of people there. Like, and I think what's disturbing about people from Chicago being there is, again, I think it comes, not speaking for like Tank Noodles owners, because that's a whole different conversation we'll get into. But, how? I'm really trying to wrap my head around how can you live in a world-class city and, I don't know, just not know better. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just, for me, I think, I'll say this about the protests too and the coup, especially going back, like kind of bouncing back to like how they were treated versus like how Black Lives Matters protesters were treated.
Yeah.
I think that, and this might be a controversial thing to say, but I think that protesting in that way is no longer serving Black and brown people and like other marginalized communities. I think we really need to get serious about how we're going to counter protest without because what happens, obviously we saw it all 2020, what happens when people put themselves out there in protests that are unpopular opinion, like Black Lives Matter protests. I think what I'm seeing is it's almost like a trap to arrest people. It's almost like I think about my brother's old roommate is, I don't want to say his name because he's kind of,
you don't have to.
He's been through the ringer. He got arrested during the inauguration in 2016. And he was federally prosecuted for his behavior. And they threw him through the ringer. I can't even imagine what people who are being federally prosecuted right now for protesting over the summer, what they're going through, just judging about the way the anxiety attacks that he's had. He had such spirit, and he's still very, he's still reporting and still writing and he's still talking about things, but I feel like there's a level of like where he's a little bit subdued now, and what I'm trying to say is things like this happen to people of color in situations like this to keep us from going out and doing and advocating for ourselves. You know, so I really think that we really need to rethink how we're going about trying to get change, you know, real change happen for us, you know. And I just don't think that protests are, it's too disorganized. I think, you know, I think about what could happen with the looters. You know, obviously those were not Black Lives Matter protesters, you know, and okay, let me kind of go back. So what kind of sparked this train of thought there last night on Instagram, someone that I follow shared a story by a guy who's a photographer who was at the protests on Wednesday. Just there to take pictures. He wasn't, you know, there to be for or against anything. And he really did this dynamic job in sharing what he saw that day and just putting it out there, like what happened. He was on the front line pretty much the whole time. And there were people who got to the Capitol building first and were like, come on, let's go in, fuck this shit. I'll link it at the end if you want to share it, so maybe listeners can go and see it for themselves. But basically there was a lot of infighting within the protests about, some people were not down with, you know, getting aggressive with police officers. Not everyone wanted to climb inside. There were people being like, you're a fucking pussy, you don't want to come inside, like we're gonna go in here. But then there were also crazy, like there were people from militia there, and there were people who had bombs, you know. And I think that what it comes down to is like emotion and adrenaline, and that's what we saw that day on Wednesday. So I just feel like we just have to get better organized if we're going to create real fundamental change in this country. For me, maybe it starts with, again, going back to like knowing who are you buying your services from and your goods from? Who are you supporting? Are you supporting, you know, the right people? Like, you have to question these things. And I know that it's exhausting, and I know, especially too with like brown, like Hispanic communities, you know, we don't have, we've got someone who's a lawyer, like, you know, we've got this person who does this, you know, like, I think we definitely have a long way to go, at least in the Hispanic community, before we can be like, wow, we have like a whole block of and we do, right? But it's just like baptism dresses,
right.
The taqueria, which I'm not mad about. I love tacos, you know what I mean? But it's just like, I'm talking about like a real, like, we got this doctor over here, we have this person that does this. Like, that's just something we really lack on, you know? I think what it comes down to too is like just planting the seed for future generations. Laying down the foundation for people to go to school, to become innovators, to become better thinkers, to have a better worldview on things, you know. Like, it really starts with from within, and it really starts with us, because obviously this coup got them nowhere. There are hella people getting arrested. Trump just got fucking banned from Twitter. I don't know if you know that.
I saw. Banned from Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. He's banned from like basically all of social media.
With the Black Lives Matter protests, I mean, what did we accomplish other than getting fucking thousands of people arrested? You know what I mean? Like, yes, again, I know this is controversial for me to say, but again, it's like, what are we doing and why are we doing it? It's all I'm saying. Like, we need to start asking ourselves, you know, before we go into things.
I can agree with some things you said, and I can disagree with some things you said in that sense, because I think that the protests did make a change. And I've actually, because I'm a Black person, I've seen it in my own social settings, like with you guys and with my family members, that I literally couldn't even talk to certain people in my life about these topics. But then when George Floyd, you know, when that happened and the protest became on a global, they were global. I mean, people in France and in London and like all over the world are protesting. I think that's huge, Beck, you know? Mind you, do I agree? Do I think that we need to be better organized? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's something that we do need to work on. When it comes to looting and when it comes to fucking shit up, bitch, I'm all for it. Fuck these companies, fuck some shit up. I don't care, because you know what? I think these big corporate companies, they have fucking insurance. They can fucking claim all that shit. You know what I'm saying? If we need to make a stand, I get it. But one thing that we didn't do with the Black Lives Matter protests is we didn't fucking crash the Capitol, bitch. We didn't actually perform a terrorist act. We didn't. You know what I'm saying? It's like they did.
They're
like,
not the same. They're definitely we are not the same. We're not cut from the same cloth.
Absolutely not. Like, can you imagine if we did, like, you know what I'm saying? Anything that we did, there was that, I can't remember exactly who this was. It was when I watched on DC Samero.
Yes, what would you like your neon sign to say?
I want my shit to say arrest Brett Hankinson, John Mattingly, and Miles Cosgrove. Arrest their ass and fire their ass right now.
Right there, put it up. Put it up.
Immediately.
Right there. Yo, everyone, give it up for my man Kenny Stills out here. Listen, y'all. Black Lives Matter, arrest the cowards that killed Breonna Taylor.
That's right. Stay strong, bro.
Because they were doing protests on somebody's lawn. They were like outside his house, but they were literally doing a peaceful protest on his lawn. It was like a senator or something, like a governor or something like that for the city, because, and they were trying to get, this had to do with Breonna Taylor. It was Breonna Taylor's murder, and they were trying to get the local authorities to acknowledge and to arrest the officers that killed and murdered Breonna Taylor. And they, you know, obviously to this day, it still hasn't even fucking, you know, they haven't even, you know, it's still not a thing, you know, like they still didn't do shit, but they sat on his lawn every day and just sat on his lawn. They had no weapons, nothing. And that's what they did. And so like, I feel like all of that, I understand where you're coming from when you're like, what did it do? But I feel like the bigger picture was unity. And I feel like it all stemmed and it all kind of woven together in a puzzle piece to get us to the point where I think that things that will do a difference, like which I was super proud of, was Georgia, was that it got people, Black and brown and marginalized groups, to actually sit down and be like, wow, voting is super important. This is important. We do need to go vote because our votes matter. Our voice matters. And so it actually got Georgia, has been red for like, I forgot how many years, like 10 years or something like that. It hasn't been
forever,
in like a decade or I don't know. I forgot. I don't know the exact.
Maybe it was blue in the Clinton years. I can kind of see that, but
yeah, but it's been a long time. Like it's been, you know, predominantly red for many years now, right? And so what I think it really scares white people and people are that are racist and that are in the white supremacy standpoint, the Trump supporters, the terrorists, that, you know, the people that are really scared of that, because that's what they're scared of. They were like, let's let these Blacks and these browns and these Asians or whatever, let them care about material shit like, you know, cars and shoes, and, you know, because we love a good, you know, sneaker. We love a good sneaker. We love a good purse. We love a good nice car. You know what I'm saying?
Kid.
Girl, we love our things. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like you can't take any of that shit with you. So who the fuck cares? You know, put that Birkin bag down. Who gives a fuck about that shit? Put that fucking Yeezy down. You know what I'm saying?
I will say this. I feel like I definitely understand the anger about what happened, but I guess living in South Chicago and seeing small businesses get destroyed was really hard for me to see, because those insurance policies didn't cover rioting and looting. And, you know, I think it's different when it happens to Target and Walmart and Best Buy. Fuck that. Go off, right?
Go off.
Look the fuck out of them. Who fucking cares, right? But I guess for me, I guess it was just such a hard thing to see, you know, especially like when the currency exchanges got looted. There were so many people, the banks were closed. And when all that happened, when it happened the first time around, it was right around like the 1st and the 3rd. And so many people were they couldn't cash their Social Security checks. They couldn't go get money orders to pay their rent. It was very distressing to see. And again, I know that whoever did that to my community, I know they weren't from my community. I don't know that for a fact, but I just know that people in my own community are better than that, you know, and maybe this is naive of me to say, but I guess that's why for me, it's just a harder thing to look at, like on the scope of like a small business, you know, especially because I work for a small business, you know, we had a board up too. And I was like, what if we get polluted and I can't go back to work. But I definitely feel like I understand both sides of that spectrum, you know, and I think again, what that came down to was a fundamental lack of organization within what we're trying to fight for, you know, and we just need to get on fucking point already. And we need to stop losing sight of what's actually important, you know, like, again, like I get it, to your point, we love our things. Black and brown people especially, you know, we haven't had things, you know, like
true. We couldn't afford these nice things, right?
My,
we don't have money
my
for
grandmother, who's, you know, she was telling me she didn't even own a pair of tweezers growing up because that was like considered a luxury to do your brow.
Your grandma?
You know, yeah, girl. Like,
she living her life hairy and living her life beautiful.
I don't know how she did
that
it. That
unibrow was, you know, sickening.
But that was just like, you know, that I just feel like this is our generation's time to be like, we want luxury, we want things. And
listen,
I think
I'm a tourist.
I
love luxury. I love nice shit. Yeah, I get you, bitch. I get you. I get you. I'm a tourist. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, it's one of our qualities is we love fucking, you know, comfortable. We love nice things. You know what I'm saying? But even I had because like, girl, I went to school for fashion design, but then I found out how materialistic and just superficial and just exhausting the industry is. So I left it. I was like, you know, I don't need to be a part of this shit, you know? But like, I think
it's not about, I definitely feel like normalize luxury, normalize having nice things. But I think instead of saying luxury, why don't we change the word to like quality? Like, I love quality.
I love quality. Me too.
You know, like that's a better
traveling chafing queen here. I hate when my pants, my thighs be rubbing together. I get that whole, you know, shout out to my ladies with the thighs and men too. You know, you never know. You know, you get that where you have your favorite pair of jeans or your favorite pair of leggings, and you get that hole between your thighs, girl, and you be like, oh.
And Kim is a seamstress, so if she can't fix it, she's over here speaking truth.
Bitch, when I tell you, I would go with my pair of jeans and I would sew that fucking hole up. That shit would open again, and I would sew it back up. I was like, I'm tired of this shit. We need good quality clothes.
Get her a pair of Tom Ford jeans immediately.
I'm like, the struggle. Nah, shout out to Uniqlo, because Uniqlo keeps me together and they're affordable boots. So I love Uniqlo. Shout out to their Uniqlo. They're stretchy jeggings. They're my fave. No, bitch, I completely agree with you. And I think that what really scared going, like I said, I'm going to reiterate. I can't say that word. I'm going to go back to, that word. I'm going to go back to saying again, you know, I feel like us flipping, you know, Georgia like that really woke them up and was like, fuck, these you know, these N-words are getting smarter. You know, like they're realizing that, oh shit, you know, they're not just focusing on the stupid shit anymore. You know, I'm not saying stupid, but like the wrong things, or like not really sitting down and thinking like, okay, maybe we should focus on this instead of this, you know, like you said, organization, you know. I mean, I think that really scares. You know, it's all about fear in a sense. You know, racism is stemmed off of fear. Let's be real. The reason why it's like people of color are fucking smart, fucking sexy, fucking talented.
Resilient.
You know, fucking resilient. Bitch, I just came back from Puerto Rico. When I tell you the Puerto Ricans are resilient boots, they go through hurricanes and earthquakes every year, bitch. Every year. So I'm like, I'm just like, we're so powerful. We have so much power and talent to offer. So if we can just hone in on that and focus that energy to the right areas, we are unfucking stoppable. And that's really what scares them. You know what I mean? Because why else? Why else do a fucking coup and fly out to fucking DC? You know what I'm saying? When this nigga, you know, talks his bullshit, talking about we need to stick together. Like, because he literally ensued this terrorist attack. The president of the United States told these people to fucking go and march
and be aggressive.
The fucking president. So now, guys, the update is everyone's trying to they're trying to implement the 25th Amendment. They're trying to get him out of office. They're trying to.
What a way to end his presidency.
If he don't fly his ass to some island somewhere and stay there for the rest of his goddamn life, I mean,
what
take your McDonald's.
About Twitter banning him though? Like, what do you think about the Facebook and Instagram ban against him?
Yeah, so like, what was it, like yesterday or something? Like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, they banned him for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, they banned him for 2 weeks. Oh, okay. That ain't gonna do shit. I'm like, that ain't gonna do shit.
Twitter had temporarily locked his account. I think Wednesday night. They temporarily locked his account. Then what happened was they told him he had to delete 3 of his tweets. I don't know which tweets they were. I don't follow him like that.
Okay.
But they told him he had to delete 3 of his tweets. And then that's when he came back, he deleted them. And that's when he made that video acknowledging that he was going to concede and that there was going to be a new president that was going to be inaugurated. I don't know if you saw the video.
I didn't, no.
It was yesterday afternoon.
Okay.
So, which I think is fucking hilarious that he had to fucking bend the knee to Twitter and post the video.
Right. Oh my God.
But
which he should have did months ago. Let's be clear with that.
I don't know what went on today. I was pretty busy.
Yeah, me too.
Today. I had some stuff going on, so I don't know what he posted that prompted them.
Yeah, to ban him forever. Yeah.
But there are people online saying that big tech was not right to do this. There are liberals and conservatives who are spouting off about this is not okay. You know, this censorship of an elected leader, of anyone, if they can do this to him. I think, to me, the Twitter ban, I feel like Twitter's the wild, wild west of social media. Like,
it is.
You can post whatever the fuck you want.
Porn,
there's no reason
racism,
why love, you know, Twitter.
Yeah.
But I feel like Facebook and Instagram are obviously a little bit more conservative in like what you share.
Yeah, they're super biased too.
Very sensitive there. So Mark Zuckerberg electively chose to block him for the next 2 weeks not block him, but
while he's president.
Right. And he's gonna undo it. And I think with Twitter, he broke the rules. He's out, you know?
Yeah.
And so there are people who are arguing that Mark Zuckerberg having the power to do that sets the precedent for him to be able to do that to other people. He could do that to like people who you would consider like a leftist extremists who are, you know, important in organizing, you know, different political things that happen, you know. So I think there's something to be said about that. You know, I mean, what do you think?
I think that's why in the past, I would say few months, hi, Georgie. My cat just came and said hi. The past few months that, you know, how big tech has actually been brought into, you know, they were brought down to the government to like talk about how their power is and how if they are a what's the word? If they're
monopoly?
A monopoly. Thank you. Yeah. So they were actually like remember how Facebook was forced to sell WhatsApp because they were it's just because they're just getting too much power in that sense. Social media like Facebook, Instagram, Facebook owns Instagram, but Facebook, Google, fucking, you know, Tesla, like all these big tech companies they have a lot of power. Amazon, you know, like they have lots of fucking power. So, and it's saying a lot, right? When Twitter can just go and snap their fingers and cancel the president's, you know, but it's saying a lot that a simple tweet from this man can do what it did. I think that's what the bigger picture is, though. I think it's important to see that, you know, it was dangerous to have this man just spew his rhetoric because it led to that. It led to the coup. It led to to a actual terrorist attack on the Capitol. You know what I'm saying? So that's when it's a threat to the country. I think that they need to just do whatever they need to do to handle it in that sense, because it was becoming. I mean, babe, we have not seen this happen in America ever, and that's well, I mean, not ever, but like, you know what I mean? Like, this is just like one of those things that it just never happens. Like, bitch, are we in The Handmaid's Tale? You know what I mean? Like, are we in The Handmaid's Tale? Like, I mean, it's really one of those things where it was scary because it's like, whoa, like I literally was chilling watching Mulan and like didn't even realize, bitch, I was laying in my love sack watching the live action Mulan because I haven't seen it yet. And then I was just like, okay, let me just go on, go on Instagram, whatever, and bitch, or go on Facebook, whatever, and bitch, I was like, what is happening? I was just like, what? Girl, all I needed was some popcorn and just watch Mulan and watch my phone. Like, oh, what these white people doing now? Oh, what these racist ass terrorists doing now? But I mean, yeah, I do think that big tech is a bit too. I think big tech needs to be handled. Like, you know how I feel about.
On the other hand, though, what other people are saying, the other argument is, this is not. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are not part of our Constitution. He didn't lose his freedom of speech by getting banned off Twitter. Like,
well, yeah, he wasn't put in jail, or he can
like he didn't lose it. No one. I mean, just because I feel like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram gives you a platform, of course, like it gives everyone something to stand on and say, this is how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But they're not actual. They're private companies. You know what I mean? They're private companies. You can go say whatever if he wants to stand outside the street right now.
Right. If he wanted to make his own website and just view his shit on his own website, he can do that. Right. He can completely, like, I mean, Perez Hilton was a huge blogger. That's what his platform was, but he created it. That was his website.
Right.
B. Scott has their own website that they do their own, you know what I'm saying? So, like,
room.
What's up?
The Shade Room.
The Shade Room. I mean, well, they use Instagram and all that, but I'm sure they have their own website.
Were you a Nicole bitchy girl?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, yeah.
But, like, I mean, that they have their own platform. So if Trump really was serious about this, nigga, get your ass off Twitter and open your own website.
Supposedly that's his plan. He wants to launch like a news network, his own news network.
Oh God, pray for us. Good, pray for us, guys. Seriously, if this happens, he's gonna he's the leader of the KKK. You know, I mean, like he's literally like they're on what do you call it? Unannounced or unofficial fucking leader, because they listen to everything this nigga says. So anyways, whatever. I want to get into the meat and potatoes, which is really what kind of started this, was that when I reached out to Becky and I was like, girl, we need to talk about this on the podcast. You know, I'm a person of color. So is Becky. Personally, when I get racism from white people, I'm like, meh, because I expect it. At this point in my life, I'm 31 years old, gone through many years of racism and microaggressions and things like that. I literally am like, brush it off my shoulder at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when I get it from people of marginalized groups or people that are people of color myself, that's when it really hits home. And that's when it really hurts me. And so when I saw Tank Noodle, a Vietnamese owner, Asian American, owner of Tank Noodle from Chicago, Illinois, fly to DC and had a Trump supporting mask or hat or whatever, make America great again. You know, I was like, Beck, what the fuck is this? You know, so we did some research and like, Becky, what did you find out about like the Vietnamese culture and how they apparently support Trump? They apparently love Trump.
my nail tech is Vietnamese. You met her, Kim. Her name is Kim, remember?
Yeah.
So I love her. She's the best nail tech ever. But a couple months back, we were talking and she had told me, she's like, yeah, like the Vietnamese people love Trump. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah. And there's a language barrier. I mean, you met her. There's a language barrier between me and her. So she tried to explain it to me, but I really didn't understand it. So when Kim reached out to me and was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, well, there's history there. So you know what? I didn't Google it when my nail tech told me about it. I just kind of went about my day. I was like, okay, whatever, you know, but Kim kind of prompted me. So basically, I guess the Vietnamese people have always looked up to Trump. You know, they love him as an entrepreneur. And I guess 20% of people in Vietnam own their own businesses. So I think to idolize him, it kind of makes sense. But in the Politico article that I read about that kind of dove into this, basically I'm not too super well versed on like foreign trade, but basically Trump's tariffs against China have helped Vietnamese people export more of their own goods. And I guess they have sided with him on his views on China and how they've kind of got like this predatory way of like having a monopoly on things. Which again, I don't really know much about. I'm not super well versed in that, but so apparently it's helped them grow as a country. And Obama also kind of set the tone for that because he lifted the ban that the world had on him, that the world had on Vietnam to not sell like firearms to. And then kind of Trump coming in kind of led to this, like, they love him, you know, like they love him there. So I was telling Kim, I was like, you know, I kind of feel like that's a complicated subject just because they're Vietnamese. We don't know if these owners are, if they were born in the US, if they're first generation, you know, people. I would say it's safe to guess that they're first generation. So maybe they have ties back home in Vietnam, you know, and maybe they have family members that have gained success from, you know, the tariffs that were imposed on China. And I also think, and I told Kim, you know, what's happened here in Chicago with this pandemic, our elected leadership in this city have been very strict on COVID restrictions. And I believe that Tank Noodle is not set up for any kind of like outdoor dining.
No.
So I'm sure their business has tanked, literally Tank Noodle, you know, like I'm sure their business has plummeted, you know, throughout the pandemic. It has, I mean, I don't know about you, but pho is not really something you can kind of get for takeout. You kind of have to eat it fresh.
It's difficult.
It's difficult, you know, so I'm really not surprised that they fell prey to this rhetoric, you know. It's just really not shocking to me. And how do you, well, at least for me, how do I chastise someone for believing in this when it kind of makes sense that they do? Does that make sense? Like, how do you approach that, you know?
It's tough, right? Because it's like, you know, like everything he's done, or not everything, but like if like the tariffs and things like that has supported their communities. So of course, in a sense, they would support him too, you know. So that does make sense to me that they would actually support him in that sense. But what I can't fathom is just like the racism and, you know, like it's
That's true
that to me, it's like, you know, it's like rich people, like people that are rich, right? Like, I mean, Trump was trying to cut taxes on rich people that were wealthy, right? Like himself. And even like we have these rich celebrities and things like that are still saying, fuck you, Trump. You know what I'm saying? You're a piece of shit. Like, it's like, you kind of have to make a stand too. It's like, I understand that it's like, yeah, you know, my business is booming, or my business is, you're supporting my business. But at the same time, it's like, it's tough, girl. It's like, it's one of those things. It's like
we're all going through it. We're all going through it. Like I've lost money because of this pandemic. I have hella people that are too scared to come in and get a service, in spite of my own conservative, you know, how I've been in this pandemic. I've hardly been out. I haven't really seen anyone. I'm not really socializing, you know, all the precautions we're taking at the salon. Like I get it. It's frustrating, but if people are too scared, you know, what else are we supposed to do? And now that I'm thinking about it out loud, I'm saying out loud, you're supporting someone that could have prevented all this. It didn't have to fucking be this way. How about that? How about you punish Trump for not protecting our country in to begin with from this virus. It didn't have to fucking be this way at all.
And he's never been accountable for the fact that we could have avoided this sense. I mean, bitch, when I tell you, like I told you, I used to live in Australia, so I have friends in Australia. When I tell you they are just keeking it up and living their life, because when this shit went down, like they did the proper procedure. They actually went on a lockdown, and they like, so they're like good. And it's not like there's like no cases, but it's like it's controlled. It's not like the wild, wild west here in America. I mean, when I tell you, I mean, let's just put it this way, right? When I went to Puerto Rico, right, I had to get a negative test. I had to test negative. I had to have proof. 72 hours beforehand, I had to have the physical proof. I had to send it in. I had to get a declaration from, the Puerto Rican declaration. I had to have a QR code to even leave the airport, right? That's because I did. It was a thing. It was a thing, and you know what? Good on them, because they're an island. They're isolated. Right. So that shit gets rampant there. Like, they're fucked. You know what I'm saying? Right. So they had to really put those precautions out there. They knew the holidays were coming. They knew people were trying to vacation. I get it, Right. But when it came back, when we went on our way back to the mainland, to fucking Chicago, girl, there was nothing. They're like, hey, what's up? Go ahead. Your bags are there. Go ahead. Go home. Girl, I mean, there were niggas in the airport with no masks. I was like, what is this? And I was like, all right.
At O'Hare?
Yeah, there were a few. There wasn't a ton, but there was a few.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, on the way back, like, we were in the luggage area waiting for our bags to see these dudes with no way. I'm just like, and at this point, I'm just like, all right, I just walk away. I'm like, let me get away from it. Because, what? It's just like,
you can't argue with stupid.
I can't argue, and I'm blessed with antibodies right now. I had them, right before I left. So I still have them now. So that means I'm not going to get COVID, but still, know. But I mean, I hear what you're saying. And it is one of those things, though. It's like, okay, I get it. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, for example, this is we can segue into this, because this is something that happened, I would say, like, beginning middle of the quarantine here in Chicago. There were a couple companies, or one company, I guess, that owns both, that was called out, and they were actually they were Hispanic, right? Yeah. It was Nini's Deli. Nini's Deli. Do they also own Chicago native, or was that a different company?
No, that was them too.
So this company,
street merch.
Brand. That's just okay, perfect. So then this company, they're Latinos, right? They're Hispanic owners of this company. It's called Nini's Deli. It was like a cute little Cuban restaurant, cafeteria, whatever I don't know, right? I only.
It was like a deli. Luncheria type of place.
But they also launched this sort of it became popular in Chicago, called Chicago Native. It was like a branding. They had T-shirts, hoodies, pretty much Chicago pride gear, right? So they came out, and basically when the whole George Floyd thing, when the whole George Floyd movement really became big, they came out and they were very, very, they were very boisterous on how they supported Blue Lives Matter, and how they were just like not about Black Lives Matter and all this stuff, right? It became a controversial thing. And on top of that, it was not only was it like a racist thing, but it was also a racism problem, but there was also there was a hypocrisy there with homophobia, because the owner, or the man that was like, he was like this,
one of the owners, one of the brothers, he was super, the story, right? What was it? He was a huge homophobe, and he was like, went on this like homophobic, like outburst too, that had nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. Yeah. It had nothing to do with the other.
Right. But then at the same time, wasn't he like gay, or wasn't he like
So let's just tell those listeners, we allegedly personally know someone who dated.
Oh, right. That's what happened. Yes.
Who dated this guy.
We have hoes for friends
out there.
Shout out to our hoe friends.
Right.
Not calling out names. Shout out to you. You know who you are.
Right. And he personally told us about this guy and how fucking shady he was, how mean he was to him, how toxic it was in the relationship, how things ended was fucked up. And I actually, when that was happening too, I saw hella firsthand accounts on Instagram by women, who were like this person also made me feel like very sexually threatened. You know, this person did this person, you know, all these crazy stories, firsthand accounts about what this guy did to just be a creep. So I feel like, listen, I know some people have words to say about cancel culture, but I think when you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit, you know, and it's as simple as that. I always think about do you remember a couple years ago when that one meme page, Girl with No Job, it got like, she got outed because her mother is an Islamophobe. No. And dude, this crazy, like super well-known Islamophobe, like just wild. Google it when you get a chance. Okay. So when it was crazy, because when all this happened, I was kind of already suspicious of this girl that ran the account, because as a person, I remember I liked her. Like, she was really fun to follow and she was, you know, hilarious. She runs a meme page. She's got character. But I'll never forget this. In 2016, the day of the election, she went on her Instagram story or Snapchat story, was one of the two. And she basically posted a picture of herself rolling her eyes and being like, I just can't deal with the internet today. I'm not going to post. Which back then I was like, I get it. She didn't offer any context behind it as to why, but I think that the election, 2016's election, had been such a fucking circus that up until that point, so many of us were so fed up with everything that I was like, all right, girl, do you, you know? But it was crazy because probably like a year later, she lives in New York City. Her and her sisters were posting all about this one mayoral candidate that they wanted to support. And I was kind of like, I kind of thought that she wasn't like someone who wanted to post her political views on social media, thinking back to the day of the election when she was like, I just can't deal with the internet. I'm not going to participate. So I was kind of like, huh. And then this particular candidate that she was supporting was also a very conservative candidate. So my like red flags started going. I'm like, that's fucking weird. Like, why? What's up with this? You know, whatever. I don't know her, so I didn't care. I didn't bother. I was like, I'm not. You know, you just like brush it off. So when she got outed by Taylor Lorenz, who I was telling about earlier, Taylor Lorenz, I don't know how she did it, but she found out that her mother was this like huge Islamophobe, and Girl with No Job got like canceled. She lost all her sponsorships. She had started a morning talk show on like Facebook that it was like through a Verizon like sponsored like media company. Right. Verizon dropped her, like her agents dropped her, like everyone said fuck you, you know. And when that happened, I didn't feel any remorse. And I remember talking about this with one of my coworkers, because also too, what happened was Perez Hilton dug into her Twitter and dug up all these fucking problematic ass tweets that she had against Muslims. And so I was kind of like, yo, fuck her. I fucking knew it. You know what I mean? Like, fuck that shit. Like, she's a fucking piece of shit. Like,
when you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit.
I don't even like, I hate that I'm even talking about her, because I don't like to give people like that power or whatever. Yeah. So anyways, fast forward, there's this other person I follow. Her name's Laura Pia Baroncini. She's the creative director of that brand called LPA. So it's with Revolve. It's like it's a Revolve.
Okay,
brand.
Revolve. Okay.
So anyways, a couple years ago, she came under fire because she had partnered with Lena Dunham. And I don't know if you remember those t-shirts. It was like this whole big old thing. Again, if you Google it, you'll find it. Lena Dunham, who, mind you, I can't stand Lena Dunham. I know. The fuck out of me, but whatever. Right. So anyways, she created these t-shirts, and it was supposed to be like a body positive thing.
Were they like titties?
No, I forgot what they even said, but like basically the message came out completely wrong. It actually, from what I remember, it looked like they were actually glorifying like being thin and fit. And to top it all off, the line only goes up to like extra large. So people were like, are you fucking kidding me? And like, so anyway, mind you, so the creative director, I love her, dude. Like, she is such an authentic soul. She's so smart. She's put me on to so many things. Like, she makes you think. She has really good content. She's just very transparent. She's a little bit of an overshare, but I think that's what makes her so authentic, is she's willing to share like everything about her life, you know? So when that happened, I remember feeling so sorry for her, because so many of her followers were like, fuck you, you're fucking canceled, came after her with pitchforks, right? Which I was very like, listen, I know what she did. I know in my heart of hearts that she had nothing to do with that there had to have been some kind of miscommunication. And sure enough, she came out with this big statement and explained what happened, and basically what she was presented and how it turned out were two entirely different things. And she was like, I take accountability for it. I should have been more on top of this. I shouldn't, you know, there are just some things when it comes to business that you just can't let other people handle. And I learned that the hard way, you know, which is true, you know, it's very, very true. Like, you have to oversee, if something has your name on it, you have to oversee every single detail along the way with whatever project you're trying to launch. So anyways, and she still talks about that because she has problems with cancel culture because of that situation that she was in. But I really feel like your real followers who really fuck with you they're gonna fucking ride with you. You know what I mean? And I feel like if there's ever any room for interpretations, the people that know what's up and know what you're really about are going to stick with you. You know what I mean? So I don't feel bad for businesses like Nini's Deli, because we know firsthand they're shitty people. You know what I mean? Like how he treated our friend in the relationship that they were in together was like appalling, you know, like, he's not a nice person. He's not a good person. He's not an authentic person. Right. And I think that's, to me, the lesson in cancel culture is you pay more being inauthentic and not being true to yourself and being closed-minded than, you know, I don't know, you end up paying for it. It's not worth it, you know, to be so narrow-minded. And, you know, just like with Girl With No Job, like, I get it, that's your mom, but like, girl, you know, you got to take accountability for your past mistakes. And I also feel like you can't hide when you're public figure, there's no hiding it. You know what I mean? You can't hide it. And the people that know and follow you are going to see that. Like me with Girl, like I knew, like when all that happened, I was like, dude, I should have fucking known. I should have fucking seen it when she had nothing to say about the 2016 election, but she had everything to say about this fucking this person she wanted to, you know, endorse for mayor of New York City, you know. And I don't know, I feel like your people are going to follow you no matter what, but there's also a certain line that you have to draw, you know?
And people's silence says a lot too. It's like, you know, when everyone else, you know, when, you know, everybody was being real, like a bunch of companies were coming out and like stating on their websites and their emails, we support Black Lives Matter, you know, they were putting it on their windows, things like that, which again, that's kind of a bit problematic too, because it's like, that's just kind of like, do they really feel that way or not? But the companies that weren't saying shit, that were very quiet, oh, that said even more, you know what I mean? That said even more, you know? So I think that's saying a lot when it comes to, like, you know, like, I mean, but the thing is, cancel culture goes, I don't know, I think that's a case-by-case basis. I really do. Because like you said, like that scenario is not the same of Kanye. It's not the same of, you know, Sabrina Claudio, which she's a singer that, Sabrina Claudio, I think it's, I loved her music, but she came out on Twitter because apparently she was like, talking shit about Black people and shit on Twitter, and that shit came out too. Yeah, girl, I'm telling you, like, everybody, you know, it's like, and then that right there, I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? I really fuck with her music, but this bitch, you know, she came out, she apologized. Oh, I'm sorry, But then it's like, but do you really, I mean, like, when you're posting really shit like that and you feel that way, it's like, can I really support you anymore? You know what I'm saying? So, like, it depends. I feel like that's a case-by-case basis. So, which is, it's tough. But, you know, one thing's for sure is that it's fuck President Cheeto forever in this house.
Right.
Fuck him forever, and we don't stand
so
for
are you going to eat a tank noodle or no?
I never did in the first place, bitch. Girl, bye. Oh, please. When I tell you there were too many white people there for my comfort, I was serious. I never went there. I never, yeah, no.
So how do you feel? Do you feel like now that you know about the Vietnamese relationship with Trump, like, do you feel like they should still be canceled?
I mean, I can't, like, I'm not going to go up to every Vietnamese person I see and be like, fuck you, motherfucker. You support
No,
Trump.
no, no. I'm not talking about,
it's like, I can't
I'm not talking about Vietnamese. Don't cancel a whole fucking people.
I know. I was like, wait, what?
No, I'm talking about the owners of fucking Tank.
Oh, I mean, I can't support them if they went and went down to DC. That was a coup. That was an organized plan. They organized that. They wanted, you know what I'm saying? They can bullshit all they want, but there's receipts to that, you know? Fuck them. No, fuck them forever in that sense. It's like the same with like, I can't understand that. You know, we were talking about the Vietnamese, but then there's also this like group of like Cubans in Florida that support Trump support him down, but then it's like it's kind of similar, right?
It's funny because I've been thinking about the Cubans in Florida that voted for him, because what happened on Wednesday is exactly what they didn't want to happen, but it was from people on their own side. You know what I mean? That went and tried to destroy democracy.
Right. Yeah. The hypocrisy is. Right. You know, I mean, come on. It's tangible. You can even fucking touch it at this point. Cause, you know, I mean, this is like awful, but there was like a woman, I guess, that went there to, you know, during that terrorist attack, the protest, AKA terrorist attack. And she had this like sign that said, "Don't tread on me." The bitch died from being trampled. I mean,
you know what that means, right? The "Don't tread on me" flag.
Isn't it like, okay,
no, it has something to do with gun rights and like,
oh well, good night.
Yeah, like that flag I think came about, I don't know if I think it was during the Civil War.
I should get Rick Dog in here because he's a history buff. Like he loves history.
He'll know.
I don't know. I don't know history like that.
I'm pretty sure it was like Confederate propaganda in the Civil War.
But it has to do with like gun art, like.
And now, everyone that has like a hard on for what's the amendment?
For guns? NRA or
no.
Oh, the right to bear arms. The right to bear arms.
That's the Fifth Amendment.
I think that's the Second Amendment. Ooh, girl, we gonna fail history class. Ooh, we gonna fail. I'm like, ooh, we don't know.
Day too.
Bitch, it's been, and plus, I haven't been in high school. I haven't been in grade school and high school since years, decades.
Let me look it up.
Okay, I don't know these things, but whatever. Yeah. It don't matter. The hypocrisy, there was this other woman apparently that went down there to protest too. She died. She was like
Ashley Babbitt.
Was that the woman? She died, and they were saying like there was like this whole thread about whether or not she deserved it or not because she went down there, and they were
one that got shot.
Yeah, because there was four. So what was it? There was
4 people that died, and I know the first one that died was Ashley Babbitt. She's the one that got shot when she went into the Capitol building, and she was like one of the first people to get in.
Okay.
And one of the members of the Capitol Police shot at the people coming in, and I guess it shot her in like her shoulder. And that's how she died.
Yeah, because this is from Yahoo News. They said 4 dead, 52 arrested, and 14 police officers injured. That was what was posted at Yahoo News. So basically, this was like the morning after that they reported it. So yeah, I mean, listen, I wasn't there. My people weren't there, so I was watching Mulan on my couch. What was that?
Thank God there wasn't counter protests.
Oh, for sure. Bitch, wait a minute. I sent it to Christian. Did you see the fucking taqueria guy that was fucking selling tacos at the fucking Trump like protest?
Or the hot dog guy.
No, there was a dude he had a car. He was selling fucking. I thought it was tacos. It was Mexican dude. It was a Hispanic dude.
I saw the guy selling hot dogs. He was like a Hispanic guy. I think he was like selling like Venezuelan hot dogs.
Oh, girl, it don't matter. The hustle. The hustle. You can't knock the hustle. He said, oh, this is an opportunity to make some money, bitch. When I tell you, I cracked up. I said this to Christian. I was like, yo, people, though. Like, they can't stop. He's like, hey, yo, we got to make some money. Like,
there were some Caucasians there who didn't eat their breakfast.
Oh, they bought food from him.
Walking by, they're probably like, damn, that shit smells good.
Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%. He got some coin that day, girl. He made some good money that day. Because you know what? Yeah, I mean, like, your girl doesn't look, like, when I didn't have it, I don't know if you listened to the last episode of my podcast, but when I did this whole story about when we were in line, bitch, we were trying to get some food to go fly back home. We had like almost 5-hour flight. And bitch, when I tell you there was only a Domino's and a Starbucks open because on Sunday the government, like, there was a total shutdown and like so there was no businesses open. But tell me why there was
Puerto Rico?
Yeah, San Juan. So like there was only like fucking Taco Bells and all these like chains are open, but they made all the small businesses closed. So it was bullshit. So we went to the airport. We didn't eat shit. And then we were fucking at the airport starving. And bitch, I don't even fuck with Domino's like that. But bitch, I was like, my mouth was watering just to give me a motherfucking Domino's. I was like, oh, please let me get a piece of pizza before I get on this flight. So when I tell you that motherfucker made coin, he made money that day. And
I'm going back to like, do we cancel him?
No.
Selling at
He wasn't there. He was working, girl. I don't cancel him. I don't cancel. That nigga always works there. He just, he was like, oh, okay. That's his corner, bitch. That's his corner. Okay. This tank noodle motherfucker got on a flight.
No, you're right.
Flew to the Capitol, bitch. It wasn't like this was a protest. Girl, he got himself a cute ass Airbnb with a fucking roof open, a fucking fireplace. And he said, I'm going to go down to the Capitol and start some shit. And you know what? You're canceled in my book. So
bye.
Good riddance. So
they could go set up him and the fucking gentrifying tattoo shop from Milwaukee Avenue. Y'all can go to the suburbs. Set up your shop over there. Just not that's where Kim lives.
Shut up, bitch. I'm gonna have to have Ricky fucking block this shit out. Don't be telling me where I live.
I'm sorry.
So here's her address, y'all. So
her address, she made me save it the other day to my concert.
I'm literally gonna have him take this out. You fucking bitch. So Becky lives on I'm gonna put your address.
Her phone number.
In this shit. Her phone number is I'm gonna put all your fucking government. I'm gonna get social security number is bitch. Anyways, guys, I think we've talked enough because I feel like we kind of hit all the really important parts because this is just such an important conversation to have. And
let me share that Instagram page so if people want to go see it because it's really interesting.
Which one? Which one?
The one that I was telling you where the guy he saved. Hold on.
We'll put in the show notes, girl.
Oh, okay. It's called
in the show notes.
James Goes Places. And it's in his story 1621. It's really interesting to see. And I think that it's really important that people go see it because it's a first-hand account that's not from the news. That's not like if he was just there to take photos and
okay, I'm down. I'm actually down to see it myself. I'll put it in the show notes that if they wanted to see that they can check it out. Because it's almost like did you watch Borat yet? The second Borat?
No, I didn't.
All right, Becky. Well, I'm gonna need you to do some homework. I'm watching
Fiance, okay?
Which you like now? You're like obsessed. So now I told this bitch to watch 90 Day Fiance, and now she's fucking obsessed with 90 Day Fiance. She's been like literally watching it every day. She's got her grandma hooked. She got her sister hooked.
My sister was already hooked.
Oh, she was already hooked.
Yeah,
okay.
She was already hooked. So she.
Have you watched 90 Days Fiance the other way yet, or no?
No, not yet.
Fuck. See, I'm not like I haven't watched 90 Day Fiance the regular. I'm not really caught up with that franchise yet, that part of the franchise. I've watched the other way part first, and that one, girl, it's because literally it's the opposite. They have to go to their partners' countries. It's a mess, bitch. It is a mess. It's messy boots. It's like literally Americans in Ethiopia, in fucking Philippines. Like, I mean, getting the culture, bitch. It's so good. So good. So like,
I didn't know, but the first 3 seasons, even like the first 4, the first 3 seasons of I was very impressed because I felt like there were actually couples like in actual love.
Yeah.
Which was cute, you know? Yeah. And now I'm seeing it in season 4 that they're like, all right, let's get fucking messy with this shit. And I'm
messy, bitch.
I'm a little nostalgic for the love, you know, for like the real
you know
shit.
what though? It's I feel like some couples, even in like the other, like they're genuine. Like they actually do fuck with each other because there's no fucking way. The amount of drama these bitches go through, they have to love these niggas. They have to. It gets better, bitch. We're not gonna get into it because we'll be here all night. And this episode wasn't about 90 Day Fiance. Maybe we'll do a episode. Me and Becky, if you guys want to hear this, so Becky, this is her second time on the show. If you guys want to listen to more of Becky because she's amazing and she's awesome and she's funny, we did a recap for I May Destroy You, and that was, I think it was episode 3, but it's the episode, if it's on my podcast, it's called I May Destroy That Ass, and it's featuring Becky, Travel Becktacular here. So go back and listen to that episode. If you guys like the show I May Destroy You on HBO Max, definitely listen to our recapping of the show. It was a good time. It was fun. So maybe we'll do that we're definitely going to do it for Handmaid's Tale, bitch, because season what, 4? Is it 4 or 5 coming out?
I think it's season 5.
Is it 5 now? Okay. Me and Becky stand for Handmaid's Tale. We cannot wait for the next season to come out. So fully expect us to talk about that in an episode coming up too. But yeah, I'm going to have Becky on numbers. I actually gave her a list.
If they want to dive into like a full review of like a season of 90 Day Fiance. Bitch. Like getting into like the cultural aspects of things, the immigrant story, what they have to sacrifice.
I know.
To come here.
It's so much. It's like, so much. You know that Jade, I don't want to like steal it because Jade and XC do that. They actually do the.
They did. Oh yeah,
they do. Yeah, they do their recaps.
Yeah.
Jade and XD, shout out to Jade and XD. It's another podcast. Like they do it and they do it so well. It's really, really good. But you need to listen to them because they're really funny.
I do.
Okay,
now that I've seen some of these shows, like I need to go back and like listen to.
You'll crack up. You'll die laughing. It's so good. It's so damn good. But yeah, guys, thank you, Becky, so much for joining us in that aspect. Because seriously, I don't know of another person I would have chose better to talk about all this with, because she's amazing, she's funny, and she's gonna be back again numerous times because I actually I gave her like a list of like topics that I wanted to do podcasts with, and I'm like, all right, bitch, what do you want to do next? So she'll be back soon. But let's go ahead and like move on to the quote of the day, because I do have a cute little quote for you guys, and yeah, here it is. It's, you must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is like an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. And that is by Gandhi. So we cannot lose faith, guys. This is the beginning. I know we started 2021 on some bullshit with this. Mind you, let's focus on the positive, with Georgia being blue now. The Senate is now, blue in that sense. So like now we actually can possibly make some changes, do some work. Like now Biden has support, the Biden administration. So let's all try to support the Biden administration in any way we can. Let's actually do our homework.
Engaged in politics.
Yes, I was about to say, let's do our homework, guys. Let's actually pay attention to what's going on. I know it's boring bitch shit for sure, but we need to do it because seriously, this is how this motherfucking Cheeto became president.
Our lives are at stake if
literally
we don't pay attention.
We need to pay attention, guys. We need to pay. And this time it seems like we do have someone in office that does give a shit about what's going on and wants to actually help people. Like we have Kamala there. We have him. We have his like crew of like strong-minded, did you hear his cabinet is full of these strong mixed like black women, Indian women, white, he's got a night, but he's all surrounded by these really powerful women. Like, I don't know. I'm very optimistic. I'm very optimistic about the Biden administration and what they can do for us. So I'm really praying that they do
vote
right.
in the midterm elections, guys.
Yes.
Vote in the motherfucking midterm elections whenever they happen. I don't have a date.
Right.
But
just stay aware. Yeah.
And vote in your local elections. Yeah. Sitting at a fucking local, town hall in your city or your town. Yeah. It's easier than ever now with because of COVID.
Right. Everything's probably virtual now.
You can do it from home.
Right.
You don't have to go out anywhere. Stay engaged on a local, state, and federal level.
Mm-hmm.
shop Black and brown businesses.
Yes,
support
patronize them.
Black and brown artists.
Yes.
Stop telling people they're too expensive because they're not.
Yes. Oh my God, guys. Yes. So important. I mean, like, if you like really think about where your dollar is going, like think about that Starbucks you're buying every day. You know what I'm saying? Like if that money can go to a smaller, like little bit, because honestly, guys, we watched here in Chicago, there's a whole list of restaurants and businesses that have closed down and are not reopening because of this pandemic. And you guys, the economy is in a shithole. When I tell you that we are going to hit a recession soon, we are going to. Like, we're not doing good. I just saw actually, Becky, do you get the NPR station's WBEZ news? Do you get their emails?
No, I don't. I'm not.
Becky, I feel like you would actually stand because I
love the radio station.
You will stand. Yeah, I get their emails. I think they email like two times a week or so. Just depends. But they literally just posted that. Let me see. It said the U.S. economy continues to bleed jobs, a sign that the recovery is falling apart, and the economy shed 1,400 jobs in December. So it's just the first monthly decline since the spring's massive layoff. So you guys, and then the unemployment rate last month it remained unchanged. So it's still at 6.7%. I know me personally, you know, I was one of that percentage because I was unemployed. I just got a badass job in the cannabis industry. So I'm really excited about that.
Yay!
Shout out to me. So I'm really excited about that. And I learned so much about cannabis already. I'm super excited. But the jobs, like my not only that, like my own little brother lost his job due to COVID, you know, so, and he had a union job. So now it's like, I got a job and now he lost, you know, so it's tough, guys. So we really got to stay focused.
Support each other.
Like Becky said, if you have friends that are doing business, like that have their small businesses, support them, pay them, support them. Like, and don't, like she said, don't say it's too much. Don't complain, you know, cause you're buying all this shit on Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really do stress if you guys really could try before you go on Amazon and just click that Prime button or whatever the fuck, do the research, find that product, maybe from the actual company's website, support them directly, because I'm sorry, I just can't anymore with Amazon. Like, they are just, I don't know. That's how I feel. But if you could just please support the small businesses, that would be great.
And have hard conversations with your Caucasian friends.
Oh yeah,
about their white fragility.
Let's have the hard conversations, guys, because I think we're past the point where we could just tiptoe around this bullshit again. No. And I know you know somebody that's like problematic, or you just don't know where they stand. Ask them. If you're scared to ask them, that's probably a little red flag right there. You know what I mean? Like, if you have somebody that you're like, I don't really know if I want to talk to this person about it, that's probably what you should talk to them about it, because it probably needs to happen. You know what I mean? Like, and Becky has people like that in her life. I do, you know what I'm saying? You know, she's coworkers, you know, friends, family. I do. You know, and it's like, this is to the point now where you're
doing them a disservice when you unfriend them and you dissolve that friendship. Yes. Let them, if they're so inclined, let them dissolve the friendship.
Right.
Not yourself.
They're
gonna fucking hear it. They're gonna hear it regardless.
They're gonna hear it. I actually have this girl that I went to college with. Bitch, when I tell you she is batshit crazy, when I tell you she is like the super hippie, I mean, she doesn't believe in masks. She thinks that this COVID thing is a whole conspiracy. And I'm still friends with her on Facebook. And I really want to ask her to be on the show. I really want to ask her to be on a show because I want to sit down with her, and would you guys like to hear from this bitch? Because like, when I tell you she's lost her goddamn mind, and I just want to sit down. It's like I want to sit down and just let her talk her craziness. I really do. And then mind you, I haven't spoken to her in years, but I'm still friends with her on Facebook, and I follow her on Twitter, and she's nuts. She's lost her goddamn mind, and I really want to bring her on the show. So if you guys want to hear from her, let me know. I'm not going to say her name yet because I haven't asked her, but I really want her to come on the show because I just can't. I want to sit down and try to see where her crazy comes from.
Where does it come from?
Where does this crazy
come from? I think that's the biggest thing when you're approaching these conversations. I say invite them in, ask questions, you know, and be like, why, how.
How?
Because
How?
it's funny when that happens, they always answer, at least in my experience.
Right.
They figure out themselves. You see it happen. Oh shit, I'm full of shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's where I want to I want to know if it's some like Scientology, Nexium level craziness. Like, I want to know if it's like some like cult shit. Like, I'm just like, what is your brain coming from? Like, anyways, I want to, that's like my goal for 2020 is I want to I don't want to give her a platform for her bullshit, but because I know most of obviously my listeners, you guys are awesome and you guys aren't here for this crazy bullshit. You know what I'm saying? If you're listening to me, but you're not really here for that.
We have to, I feel like you have to sit down and just like we want them to sit down and listen to us. Mm-hmm. You at least have to give them that chance. You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, say what you got to say. Let's hear it. Go off.
I really want to. Because she's nuts. And when I tell you she posts like several times a day, just crazy shit. Like, I'm just like, girl, you have lost your fucking mind. Lost it. So yeah, stay tuned for that. As always, guys, if you haven't, please reach out, please comment and subscribe, and leave a little comment on Apple Podcasts. It really goes a long way. I really appreciate it. If you rate and subscribe and you leave a comment, that really helps me out. Just shows support for me. Please continue to stay tuned on that giveaway on my Instagram. That's happening very, very soon. I just wanted to take a little, I want to set up a cute little photo booth section and take professional photos of the products and things. That's kind of why I'm waiting, but your girl hasn't got it together yet. So sorry.
You'll get there.
Right. And it's free shit that I'm giving out to y'all, so be patient with me, okay? Reach out to that. Follow me on Twitter. Becktacular here also has an Instagram, and she has her... Did you want to shout out your pages as well, or anything that you want to, promote?
You can follow me on Baxter Lexter at Instagram, and that's it. I post... Yeah. I think I'm kind of fun on there.
She is. She's so fun, guys. Becky's so fucking fun. She's hilarious.
Sorry I didn't wear any makeup today, by the way.
She didn't get dressed up for y'all, though. What the fuck? Usually this bitch beats her face down. But you know what, guys? No. If she did that, we would have never gotten to this episode. Yeah. Seriously, she would still be beating her face right now. She'd still... I went to Vegas with this bitch, okay? I know. This bitch takes hours to do her makeup and shit. But I appreciate you, Becky, for coming on.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Love you down. She's one of my besties. I love her so much. As always, guys, just, reach out to me. I'm here, if you need any advice or any talks about things. I had a listener reach out to me about stocks and cannabis stocks and things like that. So I'm not a professional in that sense. I just give my opinion, just, whatever. But I do think that cannabis is going to go up. So if you do want to get into cannabis stocks, that's probably a smart thing to do. Just, reach out to me, your girl. And I appreciate you guys so much for listening. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you guys next week. Say bye, Becky.
Bye.
Bye.
Be safe, guys.
Kimbo out.
Brought to you by the Rick Dog Network. Well, shoot the damn dog.